Hello everyone, Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching. I have another Monday quarterback video for you. I'm going to play the entirety of this video and then I'll go back and talk about things that are going on to better explain what's going on and talk about things that I think that were done right and or done wrong. Without further ado, here we go.
Hello, I'm Sergeant Rosalind White, the Public Information Officer for the Huntsville Police Department. In response to a federal court order, this presentation has been prepared to present the body-worn camera footage of the officer-involved shooting of Crystal Ragland on the morning of May 30th, 2019. Our goal is also to provide background on the events leading up to the incident, as well as the legal decisions that led to the release of the footage. That morning, Huntsville police officers responded to a call of a person pointing a gun at residents at an apartment complex on Westheimer Drive.
Hello, Huntsville Police, Dispatcher Shots. How can I help you today?
Yes, I'm the manager of Stadium Apartments, and I just got a report from one of my residents that another resident is standing in her patio door pointing a gun at people. And
what's the address where she is?
3224 Westheimer Drive, Apartment 2.
Is that where the victim is or where the lady with the gun is?
That's where the lady with the gun is. This person
You say what kind of gun?
has a history of being kind of unstable.
Did she say what kind of gun it was?
He did not say what kind of. It was a handgun, is what he said. And then I asked him if it looked like a toy, and he said no, it looked very real.
Okay, is the resident black or white?
Black. Her name is Crystal Ragland.
Okay, are you going over there?
Yeah, I'm walking over there, but I'm not going to do anything until the cop cars show up.
Okay, and did it say what she was wearing?
No, she's inside of her apartment. He didn't say what she was wearing, but he said that she was inside of the apartment pointing a gun at people through the window.
Okay, I'll get somebody out there.
Thank you.
Charlie 15, Charlie 11, 3224 Westheimer, Apartment 2. Make contact with the manager. She's on foot. We'll be waiting outside. There's a black female, Crystal Ragland, standing on the balcony of that apartment pointing a handgun at people. It's all secondhand from another residence.
Upon being dispatched to the scene, 2 HPD officers talked with an employee at the complex who advised that a resident was pointing a gun at people. The employee identified the armed individual as Crystal Ragland. After receiving this information, the officers approached Ms. Ragland's apartment and knocked on the front door, announcing their presence in an attempt to make contact with her and resolve the situation. Instead of coming to the door to talk with officers, Ms. Ragland exited the apartment through a sliding glass door and began to exhibit aggressive behavior. A handgun was visibly protruding from Ms. Ragland's pants. Officers gave repeated verbal commands to Ms. Ragland to show her hands. Ms. Ragland refused to comply. Instead, she argued with officers and then, within seconds, quickly grabbed the gun. In response to this immediate threat to their safety, the officers fired their weapons, striking Ms. Ragland. She then fell to the ground, dropping the gun to her side. During this presentation, you will see the body-worn camera footage of the 2 responding officers. The footage is unedited, but the faces of bystanders have been redacted for their privacy. The shooting was reviewed and investigated by internal and external local and state agencies. It was determined Ms. Ragland's gun was a realistic replica of a .45 caliber handgun. An incident review board found that the 2 officers acted within HPD policy, and the Madison County District Attorney's Office determined the officers' actions were justified. In response to the shooting, Ms. Ragland's family filed a federal lawsuit against the City of Huntsville and the 2 HPD officers. Multiple claims were asserted, including a federal civil rights claim for excessive force. Thereafter, the city and the officers moved to dismiss all claims, contending the use of force was lawful because Ms. Ragland presented an imminent threat of serious harm to the officers when she reached for the visible gun in her pocket during the encounter. After reviewing the allegations made by Ms. Ragland's family and the officer's body-worn camera footage, the court dismissed the federal civil rights claim for excessive force. In making this decision, it was determined the use of deadly force by the HPD officers was reasonable and therefore justified under the Fourth Amendment to the United States Constitution based on settled legal precedents, including Graham v. Connor. In particular, the court specifically ruled, and I quote, "As pleaded and as the body cam shows, the officers could see the handle of a pistol protruding from Ragland's right pocket, and just before the officers opened fire, Ragland reached towards that pocket and appeared to grasp the handle of the weapon." Robinson is correct that the officers did not wait for Ragland to draw her weapon, but the court must view the facts from the perspective of a reasonable officer at the scene. In light of the reports that Ragland had been waving a handgun at others when she reached for and grasped the handle of her firearm, a reasonable officer, given the circumstances, could have believed that Ragland posed a threat of serious harm. Moreover, under the relevant case law, the officers were not required to wait until Ragland had drawn a bead on the officer or others before using deadly force. As the 11th Circuit has found, the law does not require officers in a tense and dangerous situation to wait until the moment a suspect uses a deadly weapon to act to stop the suspect. Therefore, because the video evidence shows Ragland reaching for her weapon prior to the officers opening fire, the officers acted reasonably. Shortly after the court's dismissal of the lawsuit, the media, specifically AL.com and Ms. Ragland's family, requested that the court publicly release the body-worn camera footage. Up until now, the footage was subject to a federal court order limiting its release. Upon considering the positions of both sides in the case, the court directed its release. The city takes its legal obligations seriously and will fully comply with this order. We want to warn you, the video you are about to view is graphic. Due to its sensitive nature, the video would not have been released without a court order.
Covert off.
Did your guy on the bottom floor call? I take it he did, because he's looking out that window like downstairs.
Downstairs on the right, apartment number 2. As I came down here after I called and walked through here, she had a handgun in her hand and pointed it at me. And then she probably recognized me, and it looked like she went and put it somewhere.
Is she the one looking through all the glass and everything like that?
So one of our tenants just came in right before I called, said that she was pointing a gun at people.
So she's on the bottom floor?
Yep.
Okay.
Number 2. She's a, just so you know, she's a veteran that came in through one of these veterans programs.
Housing Helpful.
Yeah, Housing Authority HUD program.
I believe that she's got some chronic PTSD,
Right.
and she also has some traumatic brain injury. She's not stable. For the last few weeks, every time I've been down here, she's been having that patio blinds open, just staring out the window, looking at people.
Yeah, that's who I was kind of standing over there kind of watching for a second, because I was like,
I'm glad you guys were smart and
oh yeah,
came
yeah.
around like you did.
Oh yeah. Well, I was gonna kind of come through that breezeway right there, but I saw you and I was like, well, because they said 2 and she was on the balcony, so I was like, well, maybe it's an upstairs. But
She's downstairs.
all right. Okay. I mean, we've got plenty of options and avenues we can explore. Obviously, we'll try and get her some help, whatever, but,
Yeah.
we can do cases, all that and everything else, but we're going to try and make contact with her.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Her name is Crystal Ragland.
Crystal? Okay. If you don't mind, just kind of hang out until everything's cool or whatever, and we'll call you up and get, I understand.
By and
Okay.
she did the same thing to me, pointed to
She's
me.
the ones with the blinds open. Right there.
Back up.
Yeah, right there. That keeps kind of doing whatever. He said that she did have a handgun and pointed it at him. It's supposed to be kind of chronic PTSD and some issues like that. So was it just a handgun, Cam?
That's all I saw.
Okay.
I don't know what else she's got in there, man.
Not yet. Alright. Hold here in case she comes out that way. I'm going to try and knock and make contact right here. Hey, Crystal, Huntsville Police, can we talk to you real quick?
Hey, let me see your hands. Get your hands up in the air.
I don't got no weapon.
All right, step out.
Why you point your weapon at me?
Hey, get your hands up. Get your hands up. Get your hands up.
Shoot my fucking
Get your
ass.
hands up! Show us your other hand!
Get your hands up.
111 shots fired, officer involved.
Get your hands up.
1058 code 3. Alright, pull her out. We're gonna move up. Do not reach for the gun or I'll shoot you again.
Where's it, officer?
3224 Westheimer Drive. Hold cover on her. Bring your hands back. Bring your hands back. Hands back. Hands back. Have somebody bring a med kit.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Her name is Crystal Ragland.
Crystal? Okay. If you don't mind, just kind of hang out until everything's cool or whatever. And
I wasn't going to go up and do anything. I just walked
by.
by, and she did the same thing to me, pointed the
She's
gun at
the
me.
ones with the blinds open.
Right there. Popping back up.
Yeah, right there. That keeps kind of doing whatever. He said that she did have a handgun and pointed it at him. Supposed to be kind of chronic PTSD and some issues like that. Was it just a handgun, Cam?
That's all I saw.
Okay.
I don't know what else she's got in there, man.
You put this 10-3.
Not yet. Alright. I'm going to hold here in case she comes out that way. I'm going to try and knock and make contact right here.
Alright.
Hey, Crystal, Huntsville Police, can we talk to you real quick?
Hey, let me see your hands. Get your hands up in the air.
I don't got no weapon.
All right, step out for
Why
me.
you pointing your weapon at me?
Hey, get your hands up. Get your hands up. Get your hands up.
Shoot my fucking
Get your hands up.
Show us your other hand.
Get your hands up.
111 shots fired, officer involved.
Charlie 111, 425, 158.
Keep your hands where I can see them.
258, code 3.
All right, pull her out. We're gonna move up. Do not reach for the gun or I'll shoot you again.
Where's he at, Hoss? 3224 West Timer Drive.
Hold cover on.
All right.
Bring your hands back. Bring your hands back. Hands back. Hands back. Have somebody bring
that kid.
Get your hands up! Get your hands up!
Shoot my fucking
Get your hands up! Show us your other hand!
Get your hands up.
Shoot my fucking
Get your hands up.
Show us your other hand.
Get your hands.
Immediately following the officers discharging their weapons, officers observed Ms. Ragland was still breathing and immediately requested emergency medical assistance. Officers handcuffed Ms. Ragland to secure the scene, which is in accordance with HPD policy. One officer stayed with Ms. Ragland while the other ran to locate a first aid kit. Medical personnel rendered aid to Ms. Ragland and she was taken to a local hospital where she later died from her injuries. We hope this presentation provides context to understand not only the events leading up to this incident, but also the importance of body-worn police cameras. This was a tragic incident for the victim, for our community, and for the police department. Our sincerest condolences remain with Ms. Ragland's family.
All right, let's get into it. So at the very beginning, they talk about this incident and when it occurred. This incident occurred back in 2019. I believe it was May of 2019. Yes, so May 30th, 2019. They did not release the video of this incident until November of 2021. And the only reason they released the footage is because they were court ordered to do so. That, in my opinion, is a problem. They should have released the footage well before that. I believe that the government should be transparent. I believe that the citizens have a right to open records and within reason to have the right to view open records. When it comes to the federal government, obviously things relating to national security should be held from public view. We don't need the detailed plans of aircraft and other vehicles that carry the commander-in-chief and other high-ranking officials. We don't need to see things relating to our nuclear defense program, etc. That stuff doesn't need to be out there. Beyond that, for all branches of government, things like personal identifiers, social security numbers, stuff like that, that should be withheld or censored. But anything else, like pay stubs for the mayor, the governor, other elected officials, all that should be viewable. How much money the government spent on vehicles or office equipment, things like that, that should be viewable. When it comes to law enforcement, pretty much everything should be viewable with the exception of current investigations that are open. It wouldn't make any sense for a group of drug dealers to be able to do an open records request on the police department that they think is investigating them, and then be able to find out what they do and don't know. So current investigations should be withheld until the case has been completed and it's closed. Then everyone should be able to see what's in it. I'm not really sure what the reasoning was behind them not releasing this footage. After watching it, there's nothing wrong with the video. They didn't do anything wrong. I mean, it's pretty clear cut. I mean, it's a basic textbook kind of scenario. I don't know why they would have withheld it. I think it's wrong that they withheld it. Whoever was in those positions to make those decisions, they need to be disciplined. There's no reason why they should have withheld these videos for so long, and there's no reason why it would have taken a court to order them to release it. The government withholding documents and photographs and videos does not make the general public feel comfortable. It makes the general public feel as if things are being hidden. Anyway, moving on. So the first guy gets there and talks to the complainant and learns information about this person pointing a gun at people and acting disorderly, pretty much. Now, it is common for police to go to a call involving a gun and all they bring is their pistol. I've talked about this in other videos before. If you're going to a call where there is a gun involved, you should be getting your rifle out. If you know you're going to a gunfight or a possible gunfight, you need to take your rifle. Rifles are fight stoppers. They are more powerful than a pistol. Pistol ammunition is pretty weak. It still does the job. It still kills. But there are a lot of people who can still get up after being shot with a pistol. There are not that many people who can still get up after having been shot with a rifle. Now, when he's talking about him pulling up to the scene, he talked about maybe walking up a different way, and he did mention about parking a little bit further away than pulling right up to the scene. So that says that he at least has the mindset not to roll up in the car and then become an easy target before he can dismount the vehicle. So at least he had that mindset. I just wish that him or the other would have had a rifle out. When they go to make the approach, I had noticed, let me back this up. When they make the approach, they go this way, following the mouse there. They could have simply walked this direction to the back of the building, and then they could have came in the breezeway that's at the back of the building here and make the approach to the apartment from the back. I think that would have been a better course of action versus walk this way and then that person be able to quickly come out. One could have gone to this corner, held this corner to see if this person comes out while the other goes around, gets to that breezeway, holds that corner of the breezeway, and then radios the other person to come back. And then they could safely approach and stay out of this person's line of fire. They do make a good approach, though. Like I said, they are mindful of the fact that they could be within a lot of fire from the window. So they start to get towards the wall. And then go in between the wall and the bush, trying to stay out of view as much as possible. One officer holds the corner here, while the other officer knocks on the door. If this officer had not been here to cover this part, and they had both come to the door, she could have very easily come in behind them and got them by surprise. If she had ended up having a real gun and wanted to shoot it out with them, she could have potentially shot one of them in the back. So they had good tactical positioning. And then the action starts.
Get your hands up! Get your hands up!
Shoot my fucking
Get your hands up! Show us your other hand! Get your hands up!
111 shots fired, officer involved.
Charlie 111,
1058 code 3.
Whatever she said, I am unable to understand it.
Charlie 111,
1058 code 3. All right, pull her out. We're going to move up. Do not reach for the gun or I'll shoot you again.
Where's it, Austin?
3224 Westheimer Drive. Hold cover on her. Bring your hands back. Bring your hands back. Hands back. Hands back.
I have to say, he's got some smooth cuffing. Now, this goes into why are they handcuffing her after she was shot multiple times. And this goes back to what I was previously talking about, pistol versus rifle. There have been a number of people who have been able to continue fighting after being shot multiple times with a pistol, who are able to get up and move around. There is a famous case from the 80s, the FBI shootout in Miami with a couple of bank robbers. One of those bank robbers took multiple hits from pistols and even took some shotgun pellet. And he was able to continue the fight throughout this gun battle after being shot multiple times. And he was able to go on and kill 2 FBI agents and wound others. His partner, during the very beginning stage of the gunfight, took a round to the head. It temporarily knocked him out. And then he was able to get up during the middle of the gunfight and crawl out of his vehicle and get into the vehicle of an FBI agent and try to get away. And neither of those 2 guys were on any drugs at all. There's been other cases where something similar, a person's been shot multiple times and they continue to fight. So this is the reason why people get handcuffed after they've been shot. It's a whole lot harder for a person to fight you when their hands are cuffed behind their back. And like I said, he's got some pretty smooth cuffing skills.
Have somebody.
And a lot of other of these videos, you just see people struggling to put the cuffs on. He's pretty smooth.
Bring a med kit.
So they both appear to have different body cameras. I don't know what make and models they have, but this officer here, we seem to have the better perspective from him, but his camera kind of has this fish lens kind of thing going on. It's not my favorite pick of a camera style. I'm a little more partial to the Axon body cameras. I think they provide a pretty good image. They're a pretty good product, a pretty good self-contained unit. There are other cameras that do provide really nice footage, very crisp footage, but body cameras is a whole another video in and of itself. But whatever camera this guy has, I'm just not the biggest fan of it. But his camera does provide the better perspective.
Pointed the gun at me. Some issues like that. She's got in there, man.
You put this 10-3?
Not yet.
I'm not sure what 10-3 down in Huntsville stands for.
I'm going to hold it here in case she comes out that way. I'm going to try not to make contact right here.
Alright.
Hey, Crystal, Huntsville Police, can we talk to you real quick?
Hey, let me see your hands. Put your hands up in there.
I don't got no weapon.
Alright, step out of the...
Her automatic response is she doesn't have a weapon. He doesn't say anything to her about having a weapon.
Step out for
Why
me.
you pulling your weapon at me?
Hey, get your hands up. Get your fucking... Get your hands up! Get your hands up!
Shoot my fucking
Get your hands up!
She is instantaneously aggressive and hostile. She does not want to follow any instructions. She also has a gun sticking out of her pocket.
Show us your...
Why is she acting like this? Is it her case of PTSD? Is it she is wanting to die from suicide by police? Or is this just how she generally is? Is this her true character, her at her core? I don't know. There's not really a whole lot of information about her that's been released. Her attitude, you can tell, slightly changes when the second officer makes his appearance.
I don't got no weapon.
Alright, step out for
Why
me.
you pulling your weapon at me?
Hey, get your hands up. Get your fucking... Get your hands up! Get your hands up!
Shoot my fucking
Get your hands up!
Show us your other hand!
Get your...
Whatever that dismissive kind of head turn and hands going up gesture was, she's obviously frustrated, or I don't know, something's going on. As soon as that second officer comes around the corner, she does that body language. It's obviously she's not happy.
Get your hands up!
Show us your other hand!
Get your hands up!
Show us your other hand!
Get your hands up!
Show us your other hand!
Get your hands up!
She reaches down to the gun in a manner that is consistent with how a person would reach down and draw their handgun in order to shoot. Any reasonable person would, with information being given to them that this person was going around pointing a gun at people, and then coming to this person, and this person acting aggressive and hostile, being non-compliant, and then reaching down to the gun that is resembling the same way a person would reach down to a gun to draw it and fire it, they would have to assume with that reasonable logic that this person was about to shoot. The police do not have to wait. No one has to wait for someone to start shooting at them before they can defend themselves. That would be ludicrous. That would be suicide, essentially. Action generally beats reaction. If you allow a person to draw their gun out and then point it at you, and you wait just to see if they're going to shoot or not, they can shoot you in the face, and of course you would never know it. When a person acts like this, and they reach down for a gun, that's green light.
Hands up!
Show us your other hand!
Get your hands up!
It looks like she's going to draw her gun and shoot. So they act accordingly.
One hand!
Get your hands up!
One hand!
Get your hands up!
111 shots fired off. Hand!
Get your hands up!
111 shots fired off.
Fired officer involved.
Hand!
Get your hands up!
111 shots fired off.
Fired officer involved. Charlie 111, 425, 158.
Keep your hands where I can see them.
58, code 3.
Alright, pull her out. We're gonna move up. Do not reach for the gun or I'll shoot you again.
Where's it, Austin? 32, 24 West Homer Drive.
Hold cover on.
Alright.
Bring your hands back. Bring your hands back. Hands back. Hands back. Have somebody bring
that kid.
Get your hands up! Get your hands up!
Shoot my fucking
Get your hands up! Show us your other hand!
Get your hands up!
Shoot my fucking
Get your hands up!
Show us your other hand!
Get your hands.
So obviously from this angle, and us being able to sit here and study it in detail without the fear of being shot in the face, we can tell this thing is fake. This obviously, the inside of this does not look like a real gun. If we cover this part up, and all we see is the rest of the handle, and from their perspective, what they're seeing is this end of the gun sticking out of her pocket. In the heat of the moment, it's very realistic looking. I would even say that if they were to have taken this gun and got the real gun that this is a replica of, which I think this could be a replica of an H&K pistol, but I'm not 100% sure. If they went and got the real version of this, and one person held the fake one person held the real one, or even if one person holds them both, and they quickly pull them out I don't think anyone would be able to quickly identify which one's real, which one's fake. Even for experienced gun people, I don't think that anyone would have been able to say, oh, that's a fake gun.
Still breathing, and immediately requested emergency medical assistance. Officers handcuffed Ms. Ragland to secure the scene, which is in accordance with HPD policy. One officer stayed with Ms. Ragland while the other ran to locate a first aid.
So I talk about medical a lot in my videos because I'm a firm believer that if you're going to carry the tools to induce trauma, you should also carry the tools to reduce trauma. If you carry a gun for a living, whether it's a part of your job or it's a part of your lifestyle choice to be able to defend yourself at all times, then you should recognize the fact that you could be involved in a gunfight. And gunfights, bullets go both directions. And you could be shot, your teammate could be shot, or a loved one could be shot. And you need to have the medical gear on you to treat those injuries right then and there. Let's say that her gun was real, and then she shot one of them, and they went down, and then the other shot her. That officer that did not get shot would have to go find a first aid kit to be able to treat the other officer. If you get a femoral artery hit, you can bleed out in 90 seconds. And they park their cars not very far away, but they parked their cars far enough away to where they had to get out and walk a pretty decent little distance. So if that scenario had played out where she shot one of them, and then after the other officer shot, took her down, went over and cuffed her, secured her, that way she couldn't get back up and fight some more, that officer would have had to have ran to his vehicle, opened it, get the medical kit, and best case scenario, it's sitting in a spot where he can easily just reach, grab, and go. Worst case scenario is it's just in the trunk somewhere and it's covered with a bunch of crap. Well, let's just say best case scenario. He can grab it and run back. Then he gets there, he has to open it and go through the items. And let's say worst case scenario, he doesn't know where all the items are because he hasn't trained with it. Best case scenario, he trains with it and knows where the items are. Even in best case scenario, it's still going to be a lengthy amount of time before he can get rapid pre-hospital treatment on an injured teammate. You can very easily carry medical gear in an ankle holster, a medical ankle holster. If you carry a gun in an ankle holster, there's no reason why you couldn't carry a medical ankle holster on the opposite ankle. Things like tourniquets can very easily be placed on the duty belt somewhere. They can be very easily placed on outer vest somewhere. For agencies and companies that have outer vest where they're pretty much allowed to put whatever pouch they want to on there, there's really no reason why those people shouldn't have any type of medical gear on their vest. If your uniform consists of cargo pockets, you could very easily put a pocket kit in there to be able to address gunshot wounds. With the kits that are available today and the information out there showing you how to put these kits together, there's really no reason why no one should have or should not have a kit. If you're in this business of carrying a gun every day, or if you make the lifestyle to carry a gun, you should have medical gear. Even if you don't carry guns, if you're even vehemently opposed to firearms, you should still have medical gear. You should still have a first aid kit in your house and in your car. We are more likely to come across people in medical distress than we are to come across someone trying to rob us or come across a big old gunfight. That is about everything that I wanted to cover. If you like what you hear and see, go ahead and give me a like and a share. If you have not already, hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more Monday quarterback videos. Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense, thank you for watching.